Good afternoon, ma'am. Here is my presentation about the carbon cycle. So, what is a cycle? A cycle is a continuous movement or transfer of something. What is carbon? Carbon is the main component of biological compounds as well as a major component of many minerals such as limestone. Then it is a basis life on Earth. And it is found in the ocean, rocks, and atmosphere. So what is carbon cycle? Carbon cycle is a global movement of carbon between the biotic environment, including the atmosphere and ocean and organisms. Then it is discovered by Joseph Priestley, Antoine Lavoisier, and popularized by Humphrey Davy. Here are the example of carbon cycle. So here are the steps of carbon cycle. Step 1. Carbon moves from atmosphere to plants. During photosynthesis, plants, algae, and cyanobacteria remove carbon dioxide from the air and fix or incorporate it into complex organic compounds such as glucose. Using sunlight with the CO2, they make glucose. And this process is called photosynthesis. Step 2 is the decomposition, animal and plant respiration. The process of photosynthesis incorporates the carbon atoms from carbon dioxide into sugars. And animals eat the plants and get CO2 through food chain. Because plants are producers and animals are herbivores, carnivores, and then consumers. When these animals die, the carbon is returned to the soil during decomposition. Step 3. Carbon moves from plants and animals to the ground. When plants and animals die, most of their bodies are decomposed and carbon atoms are returned to the atmosphere. Some are not decomposed fully and end up as deposits underground. The examples are oil, coal, etc., plus the fossil fuels and the carbon. Step 4. Carbon moves from living thing to atmosphere. When you exhale, you breathe out CO2 in the atmosphere to the process called respiration. Then step 5. Carbon moves from fossil fuels to the atmosphere. Carbon moves from fossil fuels to the atmosphere when fuels are burned. When humans burn fossil fuels to power factories, power plants, cars, and trucks, most of the carbon quickly enters the atmosphere as carbon dioxide gas. Then the fossil fuels are non-renewable resources. Step 6 is the carbon moves from atmosphere to the oceans. In additional, carbon is stored in the ocean. Then carbon dioxide passes into the water from the atmosphere. Many animals pull carbon from water to use in shells or etc. When animals die and carbon substances are deposited at the bottom of the ocean and form limestone. When the process of geologic uplift exposing limestone, chemical and physical withering processes slowly erode it away. This returns carbon to the water and atmosphere, where it is available to participate in the carbon cycle once again. Thus, photosynthesis removes carbon from the abiotic environment and incorporates it into the biological molecules. Then while cellular respiration, combustion or the process of burning and erosion of limestone return carbon to the water and atmosphere of the abiotic environment. So why is carbon cycle important? 1. Many years ends have cycled, but the cycling of carbon atoms is particularly important because through photosynthesis and respiration, it is the way the earth produces food and other renewable resources. CO2 plays a vital role in trapping heat in the atmosphere, one of the basic mechanisms behind greenhouse effect. Carbon plays a central role in the combustion. Carbon is a fundamental building block of life. All living organisms are built of carbon compounds. 5. In addition, the carbon cycle is important because carbon-containing gases in the atmosphere affect the Earth's climate. So, key points to know about the carbon cycle. Life is fueled by carbon compounds. CO2 is released by the burning of fossil fuels. The atmosphere and oceans are continuously exchanging. Then the carbon cycle consists of reservoirs that store carbon, the atmosphere, the oceans, vegetation, rocks, and soil, and processes by which carbon moves between these reservoirs. And carbon sink, more carbon enters a pool than leaves it. Carbon source, more carbon leaves a pool than enters. Carbon dioxide is a major player in the Earth's energy balance. So that's all for my PPT presentation. Once again, good afternoon and thank you for listening.